So I just want to do one quick video related to the fact that it's really important to make sure you have as many commanders geared towards peacekeeping as you have slots for sending out troops, because the program, the application, they're going to send out your strongest fighters, but sometimes your strongest fighters may not be necessarily strong in peacekeeping and they may wimp out early. So you'll notice here there's 4 for this city, but there's only 3 from the prior city. And in my previous video related to conquering marauders, I had mentioned that the other city had 4 with plenty of troops, but I didn't take into consideration the fact that the 4th commander was Joan of Arc. And she's strong, but she's not strong against barbarians. She's not a peacekeeper, and she's not versatile, or have this talent trees or the skills geared towards barbarians. Hers is meant to be on the battlefront or gathering. So she ended up wimping out and going back. In fact, if you watch the one number 4 of going after the marauders, you can actually see her at the end going back to the city with her little sad face. Well, I had just gotten Ethelfled the day before with the statues from the expeditions, those expeditions that we can do. Well, Ethelfled is her statues are one of the things that you can use, that you can purchase in order to summon her or raise up her skill set. And in the other city, I had just added one more statue and been able to summon her up. I should have done it sooner, not because I've been sending out 4 commanders with that city for a fair amount of time, but I just really wasn't paying attention to the fact that, John kept wimping out, because I didn't even need 4 to conquer most, so it didn't bother me that I was sending someone back sometimes. Well, now it did, so I ended up ramping up my Ethelfled to, she's only at 2 stars, 10 in the talent tree. Because she's a legendary, I didn't luck out and get her to 3 stars with the stars that you assign for star. When you're assigning stars, the first ones that you're assigning sometimes, I don't know if anyone has noticed this, but with the lower levels, sometimes when you assign the stars here, you'll get 3 before you even get to 30. See how Scipio here has 3 stars, but he's only a level 17? Because when you do the auto assignment for the stars, you sometimes get the multiplication of the percentage. And on the epics and lower, sometimes you'll get 3 stars even at just level 20, or even before you get to level 20, I should say. So that means you can take out a secondary commander with them, which I really like. But with the legendaries, that never happens. The legendaries, because they're legendary, the star value of those gold stars just never gets me past that. So you can notice all of these, none of them got 3 stars below 20. But with the epics, they often do. Pelagius didn't, but Scipio did. And look at this one. Queen Tamar does with only 10 as well. See, she got 3 stars instead of the 2 that you would typically expect after you reach level 10. So sometimes you luck out with the star assignments because of those bundles and the multiplication value that happens. You sometimes get more. But with the legendaries, it doesn't happen. And here I get to add another one and I haven't. When you do the auto add, you'll notice this multiplication factor here. Well, if I develop it, sometimes it will multiply. See here, it went up quite a bit there. It went twice the amount. It did 18 rather than the 9, which is nice. But it doesn't happen with the legendaries as easily as it does with the epics and lower. That one only did 1. It didn't multiply at all. This one, that one multiplied, so I only need 1 more. Let's see, there we go. So he's up to 4 stars now. Good for you, Cacao. Good for you. Sometimes I don't notice that I've reached past the max. You don't want to reach past the max, of course, when you're assigning XP. You know, you'll lose values if you're assigning the tomes of knowledge. But if he's out there battling barbarians, he'll gain that extra XP and I'll be able to apply it to get into the stars. And sometimes I don't notice how much I've built up. So sometimes and they don't tell you out here when that happens. You have to notice it when you're actually looking at your individual commanders. So sometimes I should walk through and make sure, oh, as I assigned all of the ones, you know, how they give you this up arrow when you can add another talent or when you can add another skill. But they don't do that if your percentage is above what you need here. So this city is having Frederick the First as its first legendary getting developed for leadership and conquering. All of the ones I was giving were leadership and conquering, and so I decided to focus on one. Kakao, I will likely get him into cavalry. Here I've got him on all three talent trees, but at this point, because I have so many geared towards peacekeeping, I will or I already have stopped developing peacekeeping and will focus him on cavalry. So he'll become more battle oriented. So that's just a little bit about how it's really important to have as many peacekeeping as possible for however many troops you have just for fighting marauders and barbarians, so that you don't have one of your commanders wimp out ahead of the others. Okay, for now I wish you Godspeed and signing out.